Hey, Akuna Matata, my friend. So I'm watching live, reacting live to the launch of at least two Canon EOS R camera that's going to be launching. So I'm going to react live as thing being announced. So you bear with me and then see what will be my reaction to it. So it's just starting now. All right. But before that, I want to tell you that I also own three Canon cameras, but that's the R5C and R5. And what I'm interested in, what would be the R5 Model 2. All right, so the thing started. So
Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Frankie Vu, and today I'll be taking you through a deep dive on all things Canon, speaking to experts in their field and world-leading visual...
Oh guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe right now, yeah, while they're explaining those things, yeah. Subscribe and also like this video.
There's a lot to share, so make sure you stick around to the end. So, the EOS R system. Since its introduction in 2018, the R system has rapidly evolved. The revolutionary RF mount empowers cutting-edge lenses with stunning optical performance and practicality to work alongside Canon's innovative cameras that drive them with unrivaled imaging sensor designs. With the ever-growing RF lineup, there's something guaranteed to complement anyone's creativity. Let's take a look.
That's good, that's the R5. R7. Basically, you're just showing a little bit history of the R lineup. That was the C70. I have the C70 as well. And that's a C400, but I already put my Pro order in.
Okay, time to get into it by bringing a brand new camera into the EOS R family. In May this year, Canon announced the development of the highly anticipated EOS R1.
Yeah, we got excited, of course.
Because there's truly nothing else like it on the market. The one series that started with the EOS 1 over 35 years ago is known for its reliability and incredible performance. So in a nutshell, the EOS R1 is your go-to for news, sports, and fast-paced action. This is the Canon EOS R1, the flagship reinvented.
To capture that iconic moment,
you need to stay ahead of the game.
To get the front page.
To stay focused.
To have focus.
You need an iconic camera.
Yeah.
It's a mindset to see the bigger picture and hone in on the detail.
So it's for sport, news.
See the shot before it happens. Stop time.
What is that autofocus is? Did you see that?
Won't wait for you.
You've got to be fast
Visualize the win.
and believe in yourself when no one else does.
the power is in your hands.
Together,
We are one. Capturing the unforgettable.
focusing
Suspending a moment.
and creating history.
To make the front page.
You have to be the first.
You have to be the best.
Join the legacy.
Stay.
Okay, that's the EOS R1.
Let's talk specs. The EOS R1 is all about speed and high sensitivity. We've got a lot to go over, so here are just the standouts. This is the first EOS camera to include cross-type autofocus, meaning you'll never miss those high-speed action shots. We have an all-new high-speed sensor with a 24 megapixel count for high-resolution imagery and minimal rolling shutter. And as you'd expect, the EOS R1 is a multitasker. It can shoot stills and video simultaneously
How is that?
and record full 6K 60p RAW internally to memory card. Joining me now is Tibor from Canon to talk us through the brand new Canon EOS R1. Tibor, there's a lot to unpack here with this new release, but I feel like we should start at the beginning with the pedigree of the EOS 1. Can you tell me a little bit more about the history of this product?
Yeah, the EOS 1 series cameras have been well known by professionals for decades now, as the EOS 1 was originally released in 1989, and all of these cameras in the range, in the 1 series range, have been known for speed, quality, reliability, durability.
So in terms of, the range of cameras that Canon has, this is really known as the top of the range, the best that Canon has to offer, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And that's because we try to make sure that these products are actually delivering what the professionals are needing.
So speaking of quality and the decisions that have gone into this camera, can you tell me a bit more about the 24 megapixel sensor and why that's an important decision?
Yes, so this camera actually features a 24.2 megapixel.
Exactly, why 24? Why not 55?
Which is quite important because most of the photographers associate this type of sensor with low light capabilities. But what we did with this camera, we also increased the speed of it in various different ways. So the camera is featuring also a Digic accelerator processor together with the Digic X. These two processors and the sensor can actually formulate a really good imaging platform that really helps with the high-speed shooting in various different ways. As I mentioned, we've got the...
Is it the equivalent of the DGO for image quality? So then now, they add this one in terms of the speed.
Together nicely with these two processors and producing amazing image quality.
So with a lineup of features that kind of covers so many different areas, is there anything that really stands out for you?
So it would be the autofocus. We have deep learning algorithms that really helps photographers. So for example, I'm not a professional photographer, but I went on shoots before to test out the camera features. And because it has the action priority functionality, it made me feel like I'm a professional because I could use it in the various different sports that it supports. And I could actually get decent images with really high hit rate. And that's also thanks to the cross-type.
So what is cross-type autofocus?
In the sensor. And basically what that means is that we have in the photodiodes two-directional sensitivity. So it can pick up on both directions, vertical and horizontal, which makes it easier for the camera to focus on any subjects that are further away, very small in the frame, or also when you've got some stripy shirts, for example, on a jersey. Or another good thing about this is for sports photographers is that you can easily shoot through the net from behind the goalpost, because that's where some of the cameras in the past were getting confused with the wires of the net. This camera is not going to be fooled by that.
So Tibor, a lot of people watching this will be expecting this camera to have global shutter. Can you talk to me about the decision to not have that?
Yeah, literally we don't need global shutter because these cameras are actually featured with really fast readout speed sensor. In the EOS R1, the sensor readout speed is actually 40% faster than in the EOS R3. And compared to the 1DX Mark III mechanical shutter, we're actually same speed, if not a little bit faster. We just would like to make sure that the camera delivers the quality that professionals are expecting from these cameras.
I've just spotted this as well, which would look great on my mantelpiece, but I'd imagine that's not what it's for. What is this?
This is showing the internal frame of the product. It's actually the magnesium alloy body that is making the whole product quite light. And of course, it will be sealed around to make it more durable, water resistant and dust resistant as well. So this is the key for robustness.
Nice. It's also great for ASMR. EOS R1. Thanks, Tibor. There's so much to discuss about this camera, but let's hear about it in the field. Here's Canon ambassador Alex Gramanis, an incredible lifestyle and sports photographer who's already got his hands on the EOS R1.
My name is Alexandros Grimanis.
I think so far, right? The Canon EOS R1 is really impressive, 24, megapixel sensor. And also cross autofocus. I don't know what's going on, because in the images you can see the cross autofocus. It's like picking so many faces, and then focus on one. All right, and then the one that is highlighted in blue, that's what it's going to be focused on. Something is it? That's what they cross focus, but it's looking impressive. But the thing is that only 24 megapixels, so it depends who that camera is for. But it say for sport, wildlife, news, and so on and so on. So if you're in that category, certainly that's your camera. You see that's the autofocus that I was talking about. All right, anyway. All right, so let's continue.
Minute or what?
So that, my friends, is the EOS R1, the ultimate assistant for headline-grabbing shots. This is a camera that allows you to stay ahead of the game. Why? It has the highest level performance, top speeds, new levels of resolution, and rich cinematic quality. These are just some of the reasons why the EOS R1 is the perfect match for pro sports or wildlife photographers and videographers alike. Moving on now. The 5 series has developed a strong...
But they didn't say much about the video thing, But okay then, EOS R5 Mark II.
And video. It's time to add to that reputation. Introducing the EOS R5 Mark II.
I've been challenged to shoot and edit a music promo and some stills on this, the new Canon EOS R5 Mark II. We're going to be putting the camera through its paces. We're going to be trying out all the exciting new features as we shoot this music promo in this epic location. But before we get into it, let me introduce you properly to the R5 Mark II. So first up, the new backside illuminated sensor, which shoots 8K RAW video, impressive 45 megapixel stills. There's also huge improvements in rolling shutter reduction. Next up, the autofocus has had a massive upgrade, meaning that tracking fast-moving subjects or things in the dark, it's never been easier and it's never been more accurate. In terms of filmmaking features, you've got 8K 60, or you can shoot 4K 120. There's also some really cool video features like false color, waveform monitor, and C-Log 2 as well, which is a really, really cool addition.
C-Log 2.
Ultra fast 30 FPS burst capture, and you've got pre-roll for stills and video now, which means you'll never miss a moment. So the body has had a little bit of an evolution from the original R5. You've got a larger EVF now, complete with this really cool eye-controlled autofocus system. There's now a full-size HDMI port, and it's all packed into this really robust, comfortable design that's a real pleasure to shoot with.
So, the EOS R5 Mark II. Let's talk details. The EOS R5 Mark II comes with an all-new, back-illuminated 45 megapixel sensor, capable of shooting up to 30 frames per second on a silent electronic shutter and reduced rolling shutter. Just like with the R1, the R5 Mark II has a mind-blowing hit rate. Canon has evolved its dual-pixel intelligent AF with better tracking and precision so you never miss a moment. Video on this thing is no joke, with up to 8K 60p resolution video in light RAW. And you can even shoot stills and video at the same time. Now we're joined by Aaron from Canon, who's going to take us through the amazing features of the EOS R5 Mark II.
So it's only light RAW, 8K 60
camera.
Absolutely. So one of the first significant developments has to be the sensor. So we've developed this from the ground up. It's a BSI sensor, 45 megapixel resolution. It captures light much more efficiently, and therefore there's loads of improvements to the camera. You get better low light performance, better autofocus, but more significantly, the speed at which we can read this sensor has significantly improved compared to the original R5. So now we're getting less rolling shutter on video, and we're able to get continuous bursts up to 30 frames per second on this camera. But on top of that, we've also got the processing capabilities that have really improved. So not only do we have the Digic processor that EOS R cameras are known for having, but we also have a Digic accelerator. And these two now work together to process data at a rate we've never seen before. And that's allowing us to do things like the 30 frames per second, but also have autofocus that's not just fast and responsive. It can work out who the primary player is in a sports game and analyze that scene and focus on that person, even if they're blocked, which is phenomenal. So both the processing...
I think that's really impressive, autofocus. If you choose, that is my subject, and you focus on it, it's just going to focus and follow it everywhere, even the person's hidden. impressive.
Oh, absolutely. So the 5 series is known for this. It's known for having capabilities not just for professional photography, but also for video users. Ever since the 5D Mark II, this camera series has been renowned in the industry for that combination. So the 5 series is known for having our very best imaging technology and our very best filmmaking technology, which actually comes from the cinema range, combined in this really compact, nimble, and powerful camera.
Awesome stuff. So let's talk a bit about pre-continuous shooting. Am I right in thinking that the R5 Mark II can start shooting before you actually press the shutter button?
Yes, it can. So now you can get 15 frames of raw images before you've even hit that shutter, so you never miss a moment. And we also have this function for video capture as well. So you can record 3 seconds or 5 seconds of video capture before you hit the record button, which can be really useful for a lot of different scenarios out there.
So if you had to choose your own personal favorite feature of the R5 Mark II, what would it be?
Oh, I think it has to be the filmmaking capabilities, because we've taken a lot of the professional features you see in our cinema range, such as the EOS C400, and put them into this camera. Things like exposure control, like waveform monitor, having maximum dynamic range with Canon Log 2, 12-bit RAW recording. This is 8K up to 60 frames per second, which is absolutely insane. So a lot of those features and even the recording formats are now universal between the cinema range and this camera. So this can easily be a B camera on a super high-end feature-length film and fit right in with a professional filmmaker. So absolutely.
So what is the dynamic range? Is it high, the maximum dynamic range on a C-Log? So what is the number of the dynamic range?
Oh, so there's a huge range of accessories that will work with this camera. We have a multi-function shield on the top where you can have shotgun microphones, you can have XLR adapters, but then as you rightly mentioned, the grips, we have multiple to choose from. And the one that you have there is actually quite unique. That's our cooling grip. So this camera can actually have active cooling once you attach that. So that not only is it extending the battery life, but it's extending the cooling capabilities to really push this camera to the absolute limit. So for example, you can record 8K 30 frames per second, approximately 30 minutes just on the camera body alone. But the moment you attach that, you can get up to 2 hours of recording of 8K 30p RAW.
So basically, without the grip, you had the Canon EOS R5 Mark II overheat. Basically, that's what it said. So you can record only half an hour and then it overheat, shut down probably. But no, so if you add the cooling, so you record for 2 hours. But the question is that does the Canon EOS R5 Mark II with the, with the recording video has a limit of 30-minute recording limit or not?
Through the Canon ecosystem. When I first started the filmmaking process, a filmmaking camera, a film camera, and a stills camera are very much separate things. And I think that's the really cool thing about this new camera is that you don't have to compromise. You can shoot stills and video simultaneously using the hybrid stills and video function. And it's that hybrid nature that just makes it so much more empowering as a creator, that you don't have to prioritize stills or video. You don't have to get out a different body for each different shot. You can just get it all in one. These mirrorless cameras still feel very much a part of that same family from those original DSLRs that I grew up using. The menu structure, the font, everything about it feels familiar. I'm blown away by the autofocus capabilities of this camera. You don't have to worry at all about.
But the menu is, I don't think there's the Canon EOS R5C though, when you're on the video side.
Every time the camera was able to pick her up again, rock solid, razor sharp on your eye. So that's very exciting feature to be able to rely entirely on the camera to keep your shot in focus. 45 megapixel stills, that's a lot of megapixels, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of clarity in there. It's really cool to be able to resolve that much detail and at that quick speed as well. Capturing 30 frames every second just gives you so much choice, just gives you so much information and so much to be working with when you get yourself into the edit. So I was really excited on our shoot to try out the 8K 60p. The reason that we wanted to use it on our shoot was because we were doing this locked off high angle top down shot and we weren't going to be...
The 8K 60p is RAW or is...
8K was really important because then we can punch.
It's RAW, right? The 8K 60p or just normal 8K 60p.
You are introducing a huge amount of vibration and a huge amount of movement into the camera. So image stabilization is super important. We mounted the camera onto a dinner trolley and we didn't have to worry about the vibrations coming in from the dinner trolley at all. I love the ergonomics. I've got it here, literally in my hand like that. I could almost pretty much put it in my pocket. I'm amazed by how much tech there is crammed into such a small body. So yeah, just in general, really, really impressed with the ergonomics. It's really, really pleasant to hold in your hand and really intuitive to shoot with as well. This camera is able to deal with all of the challenging situations you might find on a video shoot and still able to perform up at the highest possible level alongside dedicated, much more expensive video cameras.
So there you have it, Canon's powerful EOS R5 Mark II, the ultimate camera for unleashing hybrid creativity. For creators of any kind, this is what you've been looking for. For wildlife, to events, to stunning landscapes and filmmaking, the EOS R5 Mark II does it all. But we're not done yet. We've still got a few more brilliant new products to showcase, including expansions to the ever-growing RF lens family. Before that, let's take a look at Canon's latest cinema camera.
And action.
So there's a new lens, you know. Yeah, exciting.
What are we doing? That's a really good question. We're here to make something really fun. I've been very fortunate to be invited to use.
Yeah, that's the Canon C400. I'm looking forward to replace my Canon C70 and also potentially the Canon EOS R5C. I mean, it depends. But definitely I'm going to replace the Canon C70 with the Canon C400.
Theater. It's a historic theater in Washington Heights, New York.
So that's the Canon C400. So that's the Canon 4C100, right? And I'm waiting for, I already put my pre-order in. The camera gonna replace my Canon C70 because it has, full frame, 6K and recording, all those kind of things. And the autofocus is much, much better apparently. So I'm gonna replace the Canon C70 with the Canon C400.
In terms of exposure, dynamic range, with something so small. The triple base ISO, that's a new feature where you have the ability to utilize the low range, the high range. In a space for us, that's going to be a little bit of everything that will allow me to showcase the dynamic range and expose for the things that matter to me on screen. Canon's new PL to RF mount adapter goes hand in hand with the EOS C400 and its native RF mount. Now I have access to not only Canon's amazing lineup of RF lenses, but also a wide range of incredible lenses from across the industry. And action.
So what do you think? What lens they're gonna be launching? Imagine they launch the 28 to 70 2.0 Mark II with image stabilization in it. That's gonna be crazy. But instead of 28, imagine is something around 24 to 70. No, there's already 24 to 70. Yeah, but 2.0 or 1.8, zoom lens.
The shots in 5 minutes.
Crazy, right?
We also wanted to kind of find a way to use 120 frames. So we're like, okay, maybe this is an excellent place for our actress Barbara to kind of destroy something. Okay, so no pressure. I'd love to be shooting in 10 minutes. I think this tool is going to perform really, really well in every situation it's put under. As a DP, I worked in so many different genres, and now I have one tool that works across all of them. I'm really excited to bring it on my documentaries, on my narrative work, both short form and long form, something that can take me on a safari on a documentary to being on set on a soundstage in New York. Yeah, that's nice. Having that versatility with something so small and get the power of 6K full frame, that is such a huge advantage. That's a wrap! We did it! We wrapped, we got all the shots we wanted. I'm so excited for you all to see this little film we made. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Having a camera like the EOS C400 in my arsenal is a game changer.
Canon's latest cinematic innovation, the EOS C400, the first high-end cinema camera to join the EOS R system. It features a backside illuminated,
I can't wait for it,
delivering 16 stops of dynamic range, Canon's famous organic color reproduction, and industry-leading triple base ISO system. With a compact design that's perfect for professional filmmaking, live production, ENG, and virtual workflows, the C400 truly redefines versatility. Now, if you're a VR filmmaker, the Canon RFS 3.9mm STM dual fisheye stereoscopic lens is a must-have for immersive storytelling. With a 144-degree viewing angle, Canon's first VR lens for the RFS mount opens up 3D VR content creation to a wider audience. Sam Baumel took it for a spin to give his thoughts. As you can see, the EOS R system continues to develop with a range of exceptional lenses, including Canon's commitment to hybrid content creators, shown here in the RF 24-105mm f2.8 and the RF 35mm f1.4, bringing the worlds of photography and videography closer together. What a day! We've unveiled the EOS R5 Mark II, the all-rounder and perfect companion for hybrid creatives, and the flagship EOS R1, a game-changing force for capturing fast-paced action with precision. We've also introduced powerful new lenses and tools to transform your shooting experience and grow the incredible and ever-expanding RF lens family. With these announcements, Canon is redefining the limits of creativity and helping you push boundaries. Thanks for joining us.
See, I thought that there is, honestly, I really thought that there's an introduction of a new lens. Is it that's the lens? Okay. But that lens was already launched. So basically the lens was already launched. So yeah, my friend. So that's Canon announcing two new cameras, or the R1 and also the R5 Mark II. So what do you think? Are you excited? Are you thinking of getting one of that camera? And if you want to choose one, which one are you choosing? Do you own any other R, camera? I own the R5C and also, the R5. And when the R5 came, I like it, and it's still powerful camera. But the issue with because I'm a hybrid shooter, but the issue is the overheating with the video. So then the R5C came along, and the R5C is equally powerful in photos and absolutely more powerful in a video setting and setup compared to the EOS R5. So then, I bought the R5C. So then those two, together. But then I also had already the Canon C70, which, was my main, video recording in camera, because you press, you record, and the batteries and all those kind of things. But it's only 4K. But those two give you 8K, as well. But now the new Cinema RC400 is coming, which definitely is going to be my A camera for video shoot. So I'm going to sell the Canon C70 and invest that money in order to get the C400, and that's going to replace it. Because also with that you should, I think, is it 5K or 6K? So one of them, all right. And also it's full frame compared to the C70 and so and so. I don't think that I'm gonna replace one of those with but definitely the R1 is no for me, because I'm no sports shooter. I'm not new shooter where I need those footage and quickly just send it out and all those kind of things. That's not me. And 24 megapixel, I find it smaller. And I shoot things such as sunset, architecture, street, and then so on and so on and so. And the higher megapixel, I think, really work for me. And also, I think because lately, since January, I bought the HASSELBLAD, X2D 100C, And right now, that is my go-to photo camera. So when I'm taking a photo, that's my go-to. I have 100 megapixel, plenty, and it's so beautiful. It's so simple. Yeah, talking about it so simple. If you guys want me to make a video comparing usability between the HASSELBLAD and the Canon camera, and also HASSELBLAD with the Sony camera, please do let me know in the comment box below. I will make that video. Interface, my goodness, that is so easy, simple to use compared to, you know, the rest of the camera that I use so far. So if you want that video, let me know. All right, so good. So then, I'm not sure right now, having watched that launch, there is no motivation or there is no something that telling me that, oh, you know, I need to upgrade my R5 or R5C with a R5 Mark II and also not with the R1 II. So I'm going to stick with those two. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to, you know, sell. I'm going to sell, probably if I sell between those two, probably I'm going to sell the R5. I sell the R5, I combine the money of the R5 and also the C70 in order to get the Canon RC400. But then I will keep the R5C as a B camera. Or if not, I mean, there's a thing, I will see. Because the R5, I hope that Canon will release a new firmware update in order for us in the R5C to have a C-Lock 2 as well. Because the R5 Mark II has a C-Lock 2. I hope that Canon can do that. So then that will be my B camera. All right, so that's it. So what do you think? Are you excited about the announcement? If so, let me know in the comment box below. I hope that you like this video, and also if you're not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe right now. So that's a new camera that Canon has just, you know, released, and, you know, let's see. All right, my friend, thank you very much for watching, you know, till now, and I'm really blessed, and that, you know, you stop by watching my video, like it, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. You know, Hakuna Matata. As always, you know, from me to you, only love. You know, may God protect and bless you. Yeah? Stay safe. See you in the next video. Bye for now.